All right, hello everybody. I'm back with something new I want to try. Let me switch over here. We are looking at a Piper PA31T. That's a twin turboprop engine. And the cool thing with this plane is it's very well modeled. So this is a Coronado airplane, and it's just beautiful. Has an amazing feel of flying, and I'm gonna use this plane to do one of my ideas that I had for a while, which basically is to go around the world. And we're gonna do this in this turboprop. Beautifully modeled. We'll go inside in a second, but as you can see, it's just a gorgeous looking airplane. Weather should be good. I'm gonna let you know in a second where we're heading, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it. We're playing some music here in the background, which is license free. Just want to point that out. So this is not something that should be flagged by Twitch. So we should be good. Let's go into the cockpit. By the way, I am also utilizing Chase Plane now, which makes camera so much better. Just switching from camera to camera, it's just a breeze. Looking around, zooming, it is awesome. Alright, so this is the cockpit. We are currently still in cold and dark mode, and we have the baggage door open, and as you can see, also the passenger door, which is here in the back, which is pretty nicely modeled as well. If you take a look at this here, the detail is pretty impressive. So yeah, this is a Piper twin engine Cheyenne 2, I think they call it, and we can take a look here in the plane a little bit. We'll do that later. So there's a couple of things that I need to do before we get started. And by the way, they also model the airline pilots if you want to. I think, if I'm not totally mistaken, we can actually hide co-pilot. Yep, because we are flying alone today. I'm gonna explain what my route is. I'm gonna explain what my plan is, and once that is achieved, we'll take off, hopefully. So yeah, I think we're almost ready to go. There we go. Let's let's go back into the thing here. We are... Let me just get a hold of this here real quick. Alright, there's a little bit of preparation. I did some preparation. Obviously not everything. But we are going today, and I will show it in a second, to Nova Scotia from... We're currently at Hartford Airport in Connecticut, United States. Code KHFD, and we're heading towards Nova Scotia, exactly J. Douglas McCurdy Sydney Airport, which is, if you would technically drive there, you could, because it's about 800 miles driving time, so it's probably around 400 or 500 miles as the crow flies. So we were gonna do a direct route. We're gonna utilize the Garmin navigation system that's built in here. I think it's the GS750. And we're gonna set up the route in nav. We're gonna do an initial climb out. We are going to fly with Rex 3D Skyforce. So we're gonna have somewhat accurate weather. It's obviously not as accurate as let's say active sky, but this is fine with me. I don't need that level of detail right now. Let's open this up. It is pretty cool. Today here in Hartford we have about 10 degrees centigrade, which is about 48 Fahrenheit. Not particularly warm, but also not particularly cold. What that tells me is, because we have cloud coverage here, we will probably have to make sure that we don't have any icing building up. But we're getting way too ahead of each other. I'm gonna bring this to a conclusion in a second. So we're gonna start Project Fly real quick. We're gonna map out our route, and I will do this so you guys can look at me here as well. So we go into bookings, create new booking, and we are going from KHFD, Hartford Brainerd. And I forgot the actual airport. Let me see if I gotta look it up. Let me just double check what the airport code is for J.A. Douglas McCurdy Sydney Airport. And then we'll be able to set everything up. So that's CYQY. So Charlie Yankee, Quebec Yankee. Charlie Yankee, Quebec Yankee. There we go. That's basically as the crow flies. And for the first leg, we're gonna use that. Basically doing direct. We're not really in need to do a lot of waypoints here. It's not very, complicated flight. It is quite a long flight, but it shouldn't be too crazy. All right, manually enter booking. Our flight number is 60982. Our call sign is H60982. And departure Zulu is, let's do 1645. Arrival time. What is the arrival time? Let me check. Flight get that in a second. We'll figure out how long we actually have to. I assume it's about 2.5 hours. Let's see what our online flight planner has to offer. And then departure from KHFD to Quebec Yankee. What was it? Quebec Yankee. No, Charlie Yankee, Quebec Yankee. There it is. And our flight level will probably be between 15,000 and or flight level 2,500, 250, sorry, and flight level 150. And it's about an hour and 50 minutes flight. So we need about 900 pounds of fuel, and the reserve is for another hour, which will give us about a 3 hour, a little bit over 3 hours. Okay, so it's about 2 hours, which is pretty good. So if we do 2 hours here, that's 18:45, which should be nice. We're chartering, we have VFR, select aircraft. We are using the PA-12. We're not flying on any network right now. We're booking this in. We have it here now, and we can actually dispatch on this here. We just gonna paste our route directly in here. Wait, did not. Interesting. So I guess it's just direct. All right, so we're basically good. We should be showing up on the radar now for Project Fly. And that should be it for preparations outside of P3D. And we should be showing up. Oh, I should probably look in Hartford. There it is. Anytime soon. So I'll leave that open once we are officially on the go. We'll be able to, oh, there we are. And we are showing up. Hector 60982. All right. We are good. So, with this aircraft, there's obviously way more way different preparations. So what I'm gonna do here is, for at least at the beginning, I'm gonna display. I'm gonna try to display the checklist that I'm gonna be working off, and I'm gonna zoom in here a little bit so we can actually get a better view of what I'm actually looking at. There it is. And we're gonna start about here with before engine startup. So you can actually look with me. What I'm going to be doing, I'm gonna take that panel away in a bit. All right. So we all set up, as I mentioned, we are set up with Chase plane. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually utilize Chase plane quite a bit to actually steer around the thing. So if I get something wrong, it's a learning experience. So it's all good. Cabin doors secure. So we want to make sure that our cabin doors are good and actually secured, so we can go over here. And the way we can actually steer that over the Coronado is it gives you a little like overlay here, which basically lets you steer everything, you know, setup wise around the plane. So we can close the baggage door, and we will close the passenger door. This is all good. Next thing is passenger briefing. We are pilot only today, seat adjusted. We are feeling fine. Parking brake is set. Parking brake is set. CrossFit off. So we are. Let me just get to the fuel. If I remember where my. There we go. There we go. CrossFit is off. CrossFit off. Yep. Firewall shuttle valves. I am not sure where that is, which is fine. There's again this checklist is based on the actual Coronado and not on the actual Piper, and not necessarily on what is modeled in here. But it might be, and I might be just forgetting certain things. I think we'll make it work though. Power levers idle. They're moving and we're on idle. Prop controls full forward. We have prop controls at 100%. We are good to go there. Condition levers are full stop. Both are at 0 and stop. Electrical switches off. We have no electrics on. It's cold and dark, so we're good on that. Avionics master off, which we, if we look over here, avionics master is set to off. Inverter power switch is off. Inverter power switch is off. Generator bus ties both to on. Alright, so we are going to side view here. Left engine, generator bus tie on. And we're looking at the other end. Let me just make sure I click that away for right now. So there we go. Generator bus tie is both on. All right. Now, battery master on. So this is overhead. Battery master is on, and we get a warning, which I will click away because this is driving me nuts. Cockpit lights. Cockpit lights. We'll put it up here a little bit. Just making sure. Full brightness. We have everything lit up, and we can actually watch what we're doing. Seatbelt signs on. Smoking signs on. Both on. And this is before engine startup checklist complete. All right, we are doing pretty well here. So the next thing is engine startup, and what we're looking here right now is the side panel here, and we get the amps for the battery. The voltage for the battery, which as to the checklist should be between 24 and 28 volts. We're basically at the top at 28 right now, which is perfect. Fuel pumps on. Fuel pumps on. Fuel pumps are both on. Fuel pressure. Let's look how the fuel pressure is doing. Fuel pressure around 20, so this is good. Ignition switch. Ignition switch is on. Interesting. Why was that on already? Alright, ignition switch is on. And then we press the starter. So what I'm gonna do here now is, so we're going to start engine number 2 first. And all right. And engine number 1 is going up. Ignition light is on for 2 seconds. Yeah, it went up. ITT went up. Torque went up. And stabilized idle 52%, which is around, it's about perfect. Generator on, and we are starting up engine number 2. And we're getting engine number 2, and we see the RPMs rising here. ITT 490. It's supposed to go up at the max to 1000 centigrade, which is it's not gonna reach. And we are running. We are switching ignition off, generators on, and ignition is off. All right. Let me check on the oil pressure. Oil pressure is good. What is the temperature? Oil temperature is hovering around 64. It is cooler today, so hopefully we won't need to cool the oil. The cabin door unsafe light is out. We don't have the light on. Let's put some lights on that the let's put our position light on. Let's put our beacon on. We're not taxiing yet, so we're good. Wing, we can put the wing light on and the exit light on. All right. So far this is going good. Let me just go back here. Our airplane's basically working. Let me tone that down here a little bit. Pretty loud aircraft. All right, we're doing good. We're doing good. I might just turn the audio a little bit down here on the aircraft. Okay, so we are basically ready to taxi, and because we're not gonna, well, we could use air traffic control here just to let's do 80s first. Let's hear what we have. Oh, I should probably put the sounds on. I actually did turn the sounds off just yesterday. I'll do that right now so we actually can hear it. 80s, there we go. Oh, I did not turn on avionics. I am not thinking clear. There we go. 80s.
Rainer, airport information, Papa 16230, wind 115 at 5, visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky condition, ceiling 7,000, overcast. Temperature dew point -3, altimeter 3003, visual, runway 20 in use. Landing and departing runway 20. VFR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Papa. Rainer,
All right, we got Papa. It's we're gonna be on track numero 22, which is basically perfect. This is, we do have 2 tracks here, but the other track is more for single propeller, small aircrafts. So yeah, we are going to the nav. We are in airspace. All right. So we gotta put in our flight plan, and I think okay. Just want to make sure I get this right. And I actually forgot how you enter the flight plan. Enter I know it's not menu. Direct waypoint, alright. We are going to Quebec. Let me clear that. This is weird because it doesn't really display. Let me see if that's... No, it's weird. Huh. It's just odd how the... Oh, okay, you get... Well, that's a very interesting view. Let me see if you can actually program it. Oh, okay. You actually can lay it out here with... Alright, we'll just do it like this. It's the input is just a little bit simpler. Alright, flight plan. Alright. Direct to. That is interesting. Direct to waypoint page. Flight plan. Alright. I think now we got it. It's really odd how this thing works. Okay. We'll get it done. A little bit of a hiccup. What? Why are you doing this to me? Alright, I think I forgot how it worked initially. I think I know. I'm getting a hold of it. It's a very odd way of inputting. So Charlie, Yankee, Quebec, and then Yankee. Why is it not doing it? What the hell's going on? But this is why we're doing this. We're learning. Direct to change paid in groups. Oh, there we go. Charlie. Alright, this is really... Hey Chris, Disaster. What am I doing wrong here? I see that you're on the chat. This system is driving me nuts. Maybe you can type it in the chat. Let me know what I'm doing wrong, if you're still watching. So select this Charlie. The big one next to the letter. The big one next to the letter. I don't know what that means. The big one next to the letter, the little wheel for changing the letter. Oh, gotcha. Okay, let's clear that. Let's clear this and set this up. Okay, so we go to the letter. I apologize for my inability. Alright. This is really not the most intuitive way of entering because you get no feedback where you... So right now I'm at C. So now I go to the next page and I go Y on the little wheel. Alright. And then I go to the next one. Oh, now it moves. Before it didn't move. Great. Okay. This is really not the best experience here. There we go. Now it works. Now it works. C, Charlie, Yankee. Quebec. Yeah, so this is what it did before. It just changes Charlie, Yankee, Quebec, Yankee. Charlie, Yankee, Quebec, Yankee, yeah. So I am... There you go. Sometimes it just changes the letter instead of going to the page. And we need Yankee here again. There we go. Sydney, Nova Scotia. And then we are 3 times activating. There we go. Whew. Alright. That was easy. Not a big deal at all. Right? We're good. Alright, so we see now our course out, which is in a east northeast direction, which is nice. All right, thanks, Chris Disaster. Looking good. All right, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's weird, and over here it doesn't even. Oh, it has it here too. All right, at least we're good now. Jesus. All right. We can continue with our before taxi, and we'll call into ground real quick, and we'll wanna depart north.
Ground, Hotel 6982. Request taxi for departure to the north with exit.
Hotel 6982, taxi to and hold short of runway 20, using taxiway. Contact tower on 119.6 when ready.
Taxi and hold short runway 20 via taxiway Hotel 6982.
All right, so we're gonna fly out Dew point is -3, so we actually, before we take off, we actually put the de-ices on, and we also want to make sure we set our initial altitude already. Yeah, something happened with all the 3D panels are looking different here now. Maybe because I'm using chase plane, it's slightly a different view. So we are going to, let's say, initial 3000, and we're climbing at 900. This should be good. Okay. And alright, we don't need to switch the flight director on just yet. We're good to go on that. APU is removed. We don't have an APU. Battery masters and generators on. They are on. Power is set. Okay. Lights as required. We need, what lights do we need? We don't need the strobe just yet. Let me look here. Let's put them to low. Alright. Surface DIs we don't need just yet, but we'll use them once we climb out. I'll switch them on. And oops. Resume. What else do we need? I don't know where it is. Actually pretty accurate. That's how it looks today here where I'm at. Avionics master switch on. We have the altimeter and clock set. That's a good thing. I actually don't know where the clock is yet. Let me just take a look. The clock is here. Knob clock set. Clock is set. Avionics master switch, as we said, is already on. Electric trim check. We have the radios on, and SAS, I still don't know what that exactly is. And we can basically start our taxi. We can start our taxi. Parking brakes are off. There you go. All right. And once again, I don't know what it is, but my primary flight display is just not having it. I wonder if that's an issue. Yeah, okay. There we go. And we are slowly making my way over there. Alright. Passengers are all comfortable, which is nice. Let's do a quick check of the... Would be nice if I get my left, right, up, and down. Obviously, this works as well. Gotta slow down here a little bit. Runway 22. We can there we go. All right, Verena Tower.
Rainer Tower, Hotel 6982, ready for north departure at runway 20. Hotel 6982, clear for takeoff. Runway 20, north departure approved. Clear for takeoff. Runway 20, Hotel 6982.
We can leave those at low, it's not that cold. Alright, we got ATC clearance. And there's protection on. There's protection on as here as well. Alright, and we are ready to go. Everything is looking good. Dankeschön. Thanks very much. I'll keep the blue side up. I'll take care of it. All right. Yeah, thanks. Keep the blue set up. That's a good, very good idea. All right. We are ready to go. We are in the before takeoff list. Circuit breakers checked. Generators are on. And we are ready to roll. Ladies and gentlemen, we are taking off. We should be good here. And let me just go to the passengers. They have a beautiful view. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful wing view. Alright, let's get this going. James McCurdy, Airport, Nova Scotia, here we come. Alright, let's make sure our propellers are coming up. They are. And power set. We won. And rotate. Positive rate, tapping the brakes and gear up. We're taking a slight turn here. And we can bring in the flaps. All right. All right, we are switching on.
You are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
So we're not gonna bother with this. The second I got other stuff to do, we are arming altitude hold. And we put nav hold on. There we go. Which brings us to our course. All right. We are going well. I'm gonna put down the loudness here a little bit. And everything is looking just fine and dandy. We're 2000. Let me call back to Bradley approach now. And we don't really need flight following, so we are good. We are good. Make sure I put that a little bit down so we can actually understand each other. And now we're flying over basically going the eastern part of Connecticut now. This is 84 underneath us. And we should probably set our cruising altitude ideally to, let's say we do 17,000. And our climb rate, let's do 900. Arm. Now that we are in flight, we'll put the prop RPMs a little bit back. We'll put them to 85. Watching the prop RPMs come down out of the red. Nice. And we are gliding up. Hey, Justin Boss, how you doing? How you doing? 6 o'clock. How am I supposed to see 6 o'clock? Alright, I think that meant somebody else. Actually, pretty nice view of Hartford back there. And there we go. We have about a 2-hour flight in front of us, which will bring us very soon over the Atlantic, or out into the Atlantic, and we will be... we're gonna have a heck of a time. We are right now flying over Vernon, Connecticut, which is pretty neat. How are we doing on our course? We're perfectly on course. Alright, this is pretty good. We have everything set. We have autopilot on, altimeter arm, and nav. Perfect. We are off to the races. Wait, did it just switch off nav? Oh, there we go. Button GPS, nav. Yep, there we go. That's difficult. That's dangerous because it doesn't give you an indicator. I don't know why that is. It just isn't. We can take the seatbelt signs off now. Put those on. And we're getting some rain here. That is curious. We're having rain. Interesting. And we're still not climbing with... Okay, let me sort this out. Why are those panels so... Ah, there we go. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good. All right. Everything is going well. Beautiful cabin, by the way, in this pipe. It's actually incredible. The machine looks not that big from the outside. Prop is already back, Christopher. Chris Disaster. We already have prop RPMs at 85. We're in green right now. We are in green right now. All right, and all right, we're gonna go through the clouds now, which is pretty neat. We are hitting the cloud coverage now. There's supposed to be rain and storm going on today, so I hope everything is going smooth. That's blue sky up here. I think we should be doing good. So we are over 10,000. We're setting the altimeter for standard, which is 29902 or 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013. 1013 on hectopascal. Pretty incredible. It looked like the opening here at the clouds right in front of us. Wow, that's pretty awesome. We're getting a little bit too fast here, so we are adjusting our we want to stay around 170. That is our goal. It's the ideal maneuver. Airspeed. Alright, so we're about 570 miles away. Once we are at our cruising altitude, which will be 25,000 feet, we will go in cruise mode and then pick up a little bit of speed, and we should be good to go. Actually, let's go to 25,000. We can basically just go all the way up there. Our airspeed is great. Airspeed is good. Fuel quantity looks good as well. Alright. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Right engine de-ice. Just press that away. It is complaining about our engine de-ice. Does that just mean it wants me to switch it off? I think so. Because we are pretty high up here now. Let's see if we see anything on the wings. We're doing pretty well. I'm looking at the engine. I think we're doing good. Alright. So we are crossing about flight level 145. I think up until 18,000 you call it altitudes, and then afterwards flight levels. So we're technically at 14,700 feet altitude. It's a little bit too rumbly, I realized. We're already in Massachusetts, if anybody's interested. And we have about, I would say, 15 minutes till Boston, and we hit out of... Let me just bring Chase Plane up here. Let me get the presets. Alright. Then when we go to the right wing, we'll do the same thing. We'll make sure. With a little less shake, I think this is good. There we go. All good. All right. All good. Very little turbulence today. No, I'm not on VATSIM. I'm actually on... I mean, I could be if you want. But I'm not on VATSIM, yeah. I'm on Project Fly. I have Project Fly running. And that's the only thing that I'm currently doing. And I'm gonna give you guys I'm going to give you guys a view of the map for tracking, window capture. Just bear with me 1 second. All right. There we go. Current map. We are the tiny little, what is that, purple or pink or whatever, plane. So we are hitting Framingham fairly soon. And we are at flight level 180. 180! Yep, that's about it. Besides that, the weather is turning out to be very nice to us. Officially had to switch altimeter now. We should be on standard. Actually, I forgot to set the squawk. I was told... Oh, it doesn't even show you. That's really annoying. That's really annoying. Ah, there you go. 7500. And those buttons actually don't work. Altimeter. Alright. Squawk is set to 7500. And let's take a look at the map again here. We are currently flying over Framingham. Won't be able to see a lot. Won't be able to see a lot outside. Well, and we see that this is Boston over there. We are basically flying over, or just about passing Boston here. Yeah, there was a joke with 7500. I know you should never use 7500, so I... "777 is pray to heaven," and 7600. Yeah, no, I got you. So we're almost at our cruising altitude. And We are 530 miles away. So we're basically flying at max altitude 7,000, yep. I'll put it back over. There we go. 7,000. We are, I think, going to the maximum cruising altitude that we should be doing, which is about 25,000, flight level 25, 250. There we go. And we will be staying at that flight level until about we would basically already be over Nova Scotia when we start our descent, I think. Not confident. We'll figure this out. Probably start our descent about 40 miles before the airport. And this should be good. And again, we are almost hitting Boston. So let me explain real quick what my plan is for this whole, you know, fly around the world thing. Do I know if I will make it all the way through? I don't know. I just want to have a goal for the flight sim, so I'm not just like, you know, flying the same flight all over again. It forces me kind of thinking out of the box and gives me the ability to fly to places that I would normally, if I would just play randomly, not do. So I use this kind of as a way of forcing me into experience something new in flight sim, because I'm playing this game to a certain extent within the last, I don't know, 20 years, and I never really did long flights or anything. So for me, this basically means now, hey, I'm gonna have to think about where I'm gonna land, where my next approaches will be, how long my leg's going to be. I'm fixed on an aircraft that I have to learn, and I like that kind of, you know, base setup. So what that means for me now is that, and you guys still have the map open here. Let me zoom in. So we're gonna look at Nova Scotia, which is up here, obviously. Zoom in. This is Sydney, where we're going to go today. So this is a pretty long leg, I'm not gonna lie. So we did already some nice flying, but now we're going over the ocean, and this is gonna be interesting. So from Nova Scotia, we obviously have to do a pretty long flight, and I might do a refueling session here in St. John. So I'm basically maybe fly Sydney, St. John, a short leg, and then from St. John up here to Greenland. And as we go along, I'll have already plans where we're going to land in Greenland, but I'm not 100% sure yet what about Iceland and so on. So I'm gonna announce that obviously once I stream. I will explain a little bit my route. But so we're probably gonna go St. John, Greenland, from Greenland to Iceland. And again, this is not all today. We're talking about the next couple of weeks. And then from Iceland, either over Ireland, or I might even go over Norway, because why not? I might just fly the Baltic states all the way down to South Europe, and then from South Europe going east. So I'm basically gonna do a 90 degree here, basically a south here, and then a 90 degrees. So I'm basically gonna take a slight detour. And more to that. So I don't know how long it will take me. Obviously there's a certain limitation for how long I can fly in a leg, and obviously how much time I want to spend per session, because I don't want to do like 8-hour sessions where I just don't sit at front of the computer. I actually want to be part of it, so I'm not gonna do. That's why I didn't choose an A320 or an A330, because I want to have those smaller flights, and I kind of like the idea that you're independent with not a lot of systems. So, all right, let's enjoy the flight, then I'll be right back. So yeah, getting back to that, my plan is basically just making sure, gonna put the speed a little bit back, so we don't need to use that much fuel either. So we are... Alright, this was a weird, very interesting weather change. Let me see, what the hell just happened? What the hell just happened with my weather? They just magically get better out here? I guess so. I guess so. Alright. Oh great, Christopher. You're flying to Stockholm. Yep, I might. That was what I was just about to say. I might consider actually flying to, you know, the Scandinavian countries, because I don't know. Why not? From Iceland to Norway. Trondheim, for example, and then going to Sweden and making some smaller stops. Again, I don't know how long it will take me. If this takes 6, 7 months, 12 months, I don't know. But this is kind of like the first part of that series. So we're going to Nova Scotia, and from Nova Scotia then to Greenland. And we are over the Atlantic. Boston here in the back. Pretty incredible. Wow, what a view. What a view. Looks like we're getting new weather updates in. And we're going into the open ocean, which is a scary thought if you think about it. It's not something that you do every day. So let's see what the passenger view looks like. Oh, this is so beautiful. That's my favorite part, by the way, if I'm in a plane, is when you're on cruising altitude and you have a beautiful day such as today, you know, where you see a couple of clouds, maybe see the ocean. It's a beautiful experience. That's actually the best part within a flight, especially when you go somewhere for vacation, obviously. You kind of feel like, I don't know, the best way to describe it maybe is you feel kind of special, or that's a special day in your life that you won't forget. And I always remember certain flights where I went, let's say, to the States over the summer, and I was able to experience not only an amazing flight, but also the feeling of you getting there where you want to be. So yeah, flying can be very special because it's something that you don't, or a lot of us don't, do every day. And it normally indicates that we're doing something very specific or beautiful. So this is it. I also like the way Coronado modeled this aircraft. It looks incredible. I mean, it's obviously there's better models out there in general, I heard, but I'm really happy with this. This looks super comfortable. I mean, this looks like a place I want to be in a sense. All you need to have a good time on a plane. All right. The plane's doing well. Our prop RPMs are 2100. I think we could lower it a little bit more to 80. That's one thing that I obviously don't really know. Like, what is the ideal prop RPM for in-flight? But we're doing pretty well. Putting a little bit more thrust on. And if we look now, we are about 480 miles away. So we're making good ways here, which is pretty cool. And we'll probably be, for another 30 minutes, we'll be over the ocean before we actually reach land again. We'll see that here, around here in that corner. And will probably take us a little while to get there, but we should be doing fine. We should be just fine. Actually, we can switch off. I'd never switched off the landing lights. Taxi as well. Wing, we want to keep on. We want to keep the strobe on. Alright, we don't need to de-ice anymore right now. We're above clouds, we should be doing good. All right. What a beautiful flight, by the way. The scenery is incredible. The flight is going very smooth, no issues. We're going around 170 right now, which is pretty much perfect airspeed. We are at 25,000 feet, or flight level 250. Everything is pretty smooth. There's some turbulences, some high winds up here, but nothing too crazy. Fuel-wise, we are doing great as well. Shouldn't be any issues. We'll probably have an hour, a little bit of an hour left when we arrive. Right now, on the tracker, we are fairly close to reaching the mainland of Nova Scotia, which is almost ideal for us. So in case something is going wrong, we have a couple of options in Canada to land, such as St. John and stuff like that. So if we look here at the nav real quick, we zoom out here a little bit. We are basically, when we see here, we're at 100-mile zoom, so we're about 50 miles out of the shoreline of Nova Scotia. And there's a couple of potential airports around us to our west, but as soon as we are over mainland, there are some options for us to take in case something does go wrong. We're still about 325 miles, 328 miles away from our destination, which is still some way to go. We started at, I think, 600, so we are about halfway through. Besides that, the weather seems to be doing okay-ish, so there shouldn't be any issue, at least not for right now. We're still on altitude hold and we are on nav hold, and we're doing exactly 170 knots, which is about ground speed 300 nautical miles. 300 miles, which is pretty good ground speed. Cannot complain about that. So we're making ways. Still a very good day to fly, even though we got some clouds in. I gotta figure out some settings within regs, because one thing that really annoys me is when the scenery changes all of a sudden. I gotta look into how to customize regs a little bit to be a little bit smoother on the injections. And then I'll gotta figure out one thing, and I forgot what it is. You can actually switch off all those notifications that start really to bother me. I just forgot what it is. Somewhere in the settings. I gotta look it up. Just to not see every time they inject, because it's kind of... well, it takes away from the immersion. But otherwise, we are good. We can actually look outside here too. Whoa. Pretty high up, 25,000 feet. Is not a joke. Let's walk around a little bit this beautiful aircraft. So here is the exit. I guess there's some more cockpit seats. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 people can easily sit in this aircraft, not including pilot and co-pilot. And down here, I guess, would be storage-ish. I wonder, is there... There's no bathroom in here, right? There's no real bathroom. Wonder if that does... No, those reading lights don't work. Okay. It's really not... So you can't really do ultra-long flights, because people obviously would have to go to the bathroom unless you have, like, bags with you. Mobile toilets that you could use. But yeah, the ocean is pretty incredible. Is The entire plane is a ton of joy to fly so far. Some storage here, and then we can go over here. Oh god, here. So basically the pilot is and the co-pilot are sitting directly on the wings, or on wing level. Yeah. What a great airplane this is. And I just realized I never showed you guys what I'm actually seeing. Oh, Jesus. We just did a walk around the airplane. Alright. I'll show it again here real quick. So it's about place for, or space for 6 people. Which makes this whole aircraft actually pretty impressive. This can't be a cheap aircraft. In reality, must be quite expensive because it offers you quite a lot of luxury here. Space, 6 people, including 2 pilots, pilot in command, and the first officer, and a beautiful cockpit. A really incredible. Really incredible. There we go. All right, let's go back into our pilot seat. We are almost approaching mainland. That's what I was talking before, where I only showed you the map. But on our nav, we see we are about. Let me zoom in a little bit. So we are now at. About 25 miles away from mainland, so yeah, so we should actually be seeing this. Let me just go out here, and we do. We do. There you go. Welcome to Nova Scotia. Pretty cool view. All right. We'll see how we actually land in. I'm not entirely certain what... I think there's 2 runways on the Curdy Airport, so we'll see which one we actually get. Our distance to destination is 295 miles, and that's the first airport, CYID, or Charlie Yankee Indigo Delta, and that is CYID, right? We said, yep. CYID airport is Digby Annapolis Regional Airport. Digby. So that would be a potential. Could easily, even I don't think with any props right now we would be able to get there. So we are. The most dangerous part is behind us. It's the open sea. We can now relax and just get to our destination. We are a little bit overspeeding here now. So we are not to the point where it's super dangerous, but we're gonna put back our thrust here a little bit. Just to not put extra stress on our aircraft. Get it back down to about 170. Let's see where it where it evens out, and yeah, probably between around 165, which is fine with me. This should be all good. It should be all fine and dandy, as they say. And a Charlie Yankee, Quebec Yankee, we can take a look actually and see what our airport will be. And we can take a look where we're probably going to land. Let's take a quick look real quick. And I'm not using any sophisticated software or anything like Navigraph or right now. All right, so let's take a look at the actual airport that we're gonna be flying in. So as we can see, there are two runways. One is almost completely facing north, which is runway 36, and runway 24. So we have 18 when you come in from the north, 36 when you arrive from the southeast, and then we have west southwest, which is 06. All right, so we'll keep that open just in case, so we know how we actually are approaching. And ideally, I mean, I wouldn't mind coming in here from the south or from the west southwest, so it should be all good. This should be all good. There should be no trouble there. So either 06 or 36 would be ideal for us for an arrival. And we are 270 nautical miles away. Our speed has dropped a little bit too much for my taste. So we're gonna put in a little bit more thrust. Let's see, we get some more miles going. Yeah, we reduced by almost 60 knots, which is a little bit too drastic. I mean, we must have gotten some nice wind because we really speeded up. As you can see on Project Flight, we are already over solid ground. We're gonna have Halifax about in the next 10 to 15 minutes on our right. I'm actually gonna try to see if I can actually spot Halifax. I actually heard a lot about Halifax, but I've never been to Halifax. That's probably on my list to one day get there. And you can see that here we are on a good track to Halifax here now. And we should be arriving shortly at our destination. J. Curdy or McCurdy Airport. Why did I pick that airport? It is, to my knowledge, at least on Nova Scotia, the furthest reachable airport. That is not a super small one and also not a super large one. And I think this is a good stopping point for our first leg, and brought us a quite substantial amount. Did a fairly large first leg if we complete this flight. So this is not unsubstantial travel that we just did. And kind of prepares us for our next leg. So our next leg is going to be interesting. It's going to be long too. So I don't know if I'm going to split it up in 2 separate legs. And I can bring that over here real quick. So we're going to arrive here at Sydney, Nova Scotia, which, as you can see, it's a fairly substantial north course that we took here, or actually east-northeast course. Once in Sydney, my plan is to fly from Sydney on a shorter leg to St. John, sorry. Trying to get to that airport to basically, and I will look into this. I'm not totally sure if we have some airports up here too, but I assume we'll have airports more in the northwest side of St. John Island, I think it is. And for us, it is important to basically get up here to the southern tip of Greenland, which is a quite substantial flight over multiple hours. And in comparison to this flight, I think 95% of the time we're gonna be over water. So this needs to be planned a little bit more thoroughly. I want to make sure that we have enough fuel. We don't want to plummet into the ocean, obviously, with no fuel left. So plan is planning, and making sure that we arrive safe and sound. What happens if I do crash? Let's say I crash the plane on landing. Okay, it happened. I will still complete the flight and I'll get better. This is not a tutorial. This is not showing off what I can. I'm doing this for fun. I'm not a professional flight sim. I said that in a previous video. I'm just gonna have fun. And if for whatever reason the flight simulator crashes, that's the worst case. I think if it's in flight and it actually starts crashing on me, I obviously I'm not gonna refly the entire route, but I'm gonna figure something out how to take care of it. I really don't have a solution yet. So if it's really, maybe I do saves. Maybe it's a good idea to do save points. That might be, it takes away from the whole idea that you fly in the immersion part, but I might have to do that I do save points. And this is as simple as just saving the scenario here. Leg 1, save 1, right? And we just save this. And we have at least a save point so that if something crashes, I can at least return. Because what I don't want to do is I don't want to have to basically refly a long leg again. So I don't know if you just noticed it, but we see here how Rex injects it, and it completely changes over how everything looks. So it's not continuous. I gotta look into how to configure Rex a little bit more realistically instead of having it jump all of a sudden, or maybe update it less often. That's another thing. Maybe that's that's a solution too. As for now, we will be taking some cinematics and listen to some music, and I'll be back.
those nights when we were younger and we would never sleep. So let's forget about tomorrow and live for tonight while we're free. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. And our hands will touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. From the dust we will awaken, and life will fill our veins. But these are the moments that we live for. I can keep it inside of me. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming alive. Touch the sky. Tonight we're coming
All right. We are slowly but surely getting to our destination, and I'm pretty sure we are not that far off. So let's take a look real quick at our nav, what it says here. 126 nautical miles. All right. So if we descend at 1,000 feet per minute, we need about, or per minute, yeah, we need about, we have 25 minutes left for the estimated arrival if we stay on that speed. So let's do 30 minutes. If we descend at 1,000 feet a minute, we should be there. So it's a little bit early to descend. We could descend obviously a little bit faster, but good to know we are kind of like in the margin already where we should be thinking about potentially starting the descent. Again, still a little early and not 100% necessary to descend, but we should be all good. Passengers are still doing fine. It is actually a way nicer day today here than it was before we left. So we'll still have to do a small little trip over the ocean before we actually hit our final mainland destination. It's currently covered by the clouds, but behind those clouds we actually have to fly over. And I'll bring that up on the map in a second. We'll have to fly over. Just get rid of that real quick. Yeah, there we go. So this is the part, it's almost like a bay that we have to fly over in a bit. So right in front of it. And then our final destination, Sydney, is over here. So my assumption here now is that we will be arriving at the runway 6, as I mentioned before. If we take a look here real quick, so this runway is the one I'm talking about. It's runway 6 left. And then this one is 36. I think if we look at that on maps, we will probably, well, it could be also that we're taking an approach here from the north. Where's the airport? Where have you gone, airport? Where are we? Oh, there we go. So it could be also that we are flying in from the north, which would be doable too, and fly in runway 18. I think that might be a better thing to do. But we'll see. We will see. Airspeed is still good. 100 nautical miles. And this will then conclude our first trip. Our first trip with our Piper PA-31T Shan 2. Dual turboprop. Fuel, we have plenty of fuel. We actually have a little bit too much fuel anyway on board. But you know what? I'd rather be safe than sorry. Oxygen pressure is good. Fuel consumed 770 pounds, which is about right. And again with the descent, we'll probably fairly soon start our descent. We are about 100 miles away now. Probably when we're around 90, I'm gonna put in the descent just to get there a little bit quicker. And once we are in descent mode, we will think about the approach a little bit more. Just gorgeous. There's so many places around the planet. It makes you thinking when you play this simulator. How many amazing places you could visit. Obviously right now a little bit difficult to travel. Sort of 3. And we see in front of us, if we zoom in here a little bit more, zoom level, within the next 25 miles we're gonna go across this last cove, larger cove, body of water. And once that is established, we will be able to think about preparations. We're about 96 nautical miles away. We're still on track with our course just fine. I'll keep the heading in for right now, obviously. We're almost going exactly east. So we're going about a 87 degrees east, which is good. Our current temperature outside is minus 30. Doesn't really display. Oh, minus 30, which is pretty cold, but normal at that altitude. 92 nautical miles. It is all good. And we are on standard pressure 1013, as you see here, altimeter 29902. What's the Q and H for? Q and H for CYQRQY. Let's take a look. Alright. Alright, we're at 82 nautical miles, so we gotta start descending. We're gonna put in 5,000 feet. And let's go. Let's go 3,000. We are 80 nautical miles away. What's our 15 minutes at that speed? Obviously we gotta slow down a little bit. So if we want to do 25, we want to go down. We gotta go down 22,000 feet. So we go, let's go with 1200. Let's go with 1200. It's a little bit below what we should be doing, but let's arm that in. This is the thing with the panel right now, that it's not ideal. $1,500. Let's do 1,300. And let's make sure we put our thrust lever slightly back. And this should give us some nice and then I'll get back to you. So we reduced our speeds to about 150, 47 knots, which is cool with me. Reduced our ground speed quite significantly. All right. Everything so far going smooth. And again, we see now that we are a little bit slower, we are gaining a little bit of extra time towards the airport. And we are 65 nautical miles away. And we're at 22,000 feet as of right now. This is all good. We don't need anything. Should we put NTIs on? Let's just put eyes protection on, because we're going through clouds. Alright. In case we're hitting those clouds. Is it complaining about the engine DIs protections? I don't really know why that is. What does it say here? Alright. This is all groovy. We're hovering around 130. It's fine with me. We're not in any danger of stalling. We see down here the stall margin. Alright. And we are quite far away from that number. And we're nicely coming down with the altitude too. And we're almost at our destination. which will be a very successful, hopefully successful, first leg of our travel here. Hopefully you start to a couple of cool streams going around the world. All right. Let's see what we got here. Wow, that's a nice view. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's almost worth keeping. Gonna keep that view. Looks pretty nice. Very nice. All right, we are at below 18,000. Let's see what air pressure we got. Barometric pressure is 1019er. 1019er. So below 18,000 feet, we will be setting. We are 30 minutes away, 50 nautical miles. We are doing just great here right now. And we gotta set the barometric pressure to 1019er. I think it was. Is the current air pressure of Sydney. 1019er. Altimeter 3009er. But the weather seems to be cooperating. And we are at minus 10 Celsius. And we're already in the positives in Fahrenheit, so that is good. It's getting warmer, so we don't need to be super scared of. So we have 11 minutes. We gotta speed up our descent slightly here now. There we go. And we'll set it to because we're creeping down here a little bit, and we're gonna reduce our speed a little bit more, our thrust a little bit more as well. Because we are kind of high still. All right, and let's see if we get list nearest airports. Not coming in yet. We're still too far away for it. We'll wait.
Some people are at driveway gate.
And I'll be right back. All right. We'll go a little bit more down with the airspeed now. It's the first time that I flew actually into this airport too, so this is going to be interesting. I'll show you here real quick on the map again. My idea is that we are going north, so we're probably going to take slightly northern, probably do the northern approach. Probably gonna check into air traffic control here in a second. Hopefully the airport is being losing a little bit too much thrust here. All right. Let's check in if we... Sydney. Select runway for landing. All right. We could... Again... we're flying in... we could go in 6. Yeah, let's go 6. Runway 6. Let's request runway 6. Interesting, why do I not hear air traffic control? Did I switch it off? Let me see. I think I did. I might have. Maybe not. No, I didn't. Why can I not hear air traffic control? Well, very odd that I can't hear air traffic control right now.
Charlie Yankee,
There we go.
traffic, Hotel 6982 is 25 miles west, 5,100, inbound to land, runway 6. Charlie Yankee, Quebec, Yankee, traffic, Hotel 6982 is on base, runway 6. Charlie Yankee, Quebec, Yankee, traffic, Hotel 6982 is 24 miles west, 4,000, inbound to land, runway 6.
All right, so if this is runway 18 or 36, sorry. I think we gotta take a slight all right. We are basically at 2,000 feet altitude. Now we want to make sure we are holding altitude. Let's see. We are facing east, so we are actually that is our runway. So we want to let's switch off nav now. And we are flying. Let me get that up here, so there we go. All right. All right. Make sure we keep our airspeed solid. All right. Let's make sure we get So we are flying in runway 6. Oh, come on. Gonna go a little bit further down. Which should be, or which will be our approach altitude. And so you see we have our landing strip coming up here.
Charlie Yankee, Quebec,
Announced position.
Hotel 6982, 10 miles southwest, 1,300 inbound to land, runway 6.
And we gotta set our (60) HTG select. And we see the airport in front of us. I'm actually gonna take over manual here. And we see the airport lined up over there. We extend the gear. And we'll put landing flaps up. And we are disengaging the autopilot. Should be a little bit higher. And we need to align. Make sure we get the thrust going. So we have the flaps open. Out. Alright. We are doing good. We are a little bit too far left. Prop RPMs both up, so we have full power, and we gotta Alright guys, this is it. Hopefully this runway is friendly to us. All right. Oh, okay. It is an interesting plane to land. Very sensitive. Wow, okay, it's windy. Let's put her down. Oop. Let's put her down. Smooth. And smooth, come on. On. Alright. Reverse thrusts. And we're at 50. Alright, evacuating here over left taxiway. And that was that. That was our landing into all right. We can close that. We're just gonna park somewhere nice and simple. There are some gates over there. Let me see what we got here. That was actually a pretty nice landing. I'm actually pretty happy about that. Mechanics Bay. Right, it's actually still snowy up here too. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, let's see. Put him a little bit more forward. All right, I think we're good. I think we are good. All right, welcome to Nova Scotia. We arrived, which is certainly a beautiful thing to have completed. That was pretty incredible. I actually enjoyed that a lot. Let's make sure we shut down this baby. Let's make sure we are all good. We can switch off that. Obviously, I didn't follow every single off. Bear shut down 2. Fuel pump off. Fuel pump off. Let's make sure we are putting down the conditioners. Smoking sign off. Yeah, we get you. Alright, avionics off. The bus is off. What else do we want to switch off? Battery master, I assume. Parking brake is in. Then we'll open the passenger door and the baggage door. Alright, what is he doing? Don't crash in me. No, don't crash in me. This is happening every single time when you want to. It just crashes into your car once you. Oh, I don't know why they're doing it. Anyway, long story short, we completed the flight. I'm pretty happy about that. And obviously, you guys let me know how you like that. I actually want to see vertical speed. What do we have? We have time, ground speed, some stats here, flight details, and departure from Brennett Airport. We flew to see Charlie Yankee, Quebec Yankee. Block time 3 hour and 2. So that was a 3 hour flight. Holy crap. We completed it. It was a distance of 605 miles. Burned about 392 kilograms of fuel. Landing rate is 215, which, yeah, it's not greasing per se. There would have been... In all honesty, there's better ways to land than what I did. But maybe it gets better over time. This can easily happen. Arrival time 1918 Zulu passengers. And do we have any? Oh, the height profile. Can I show that here? There we go. The height profile. We were basically constantly on 25,000 feet. Our descent was pretty good in my opinion. Could have done it a little bit earlier and a little bit smoother. Landing event at 1914 Zulu. At a speed of 88 knots, which was slightly below the recommended landing speed. And then at a minus 215 feet per minute, which is too fast, in all honesty. Could have... Well, we'll see. Next flight leg will obviously, hopefully be better. And yeah, that was it for today. Around the world with pipe chess. First leg completed. Next time St. John's Island, and I don't know if I will split the actual next leg into 2 separate legs. So going a short haul from from Nova Scotia, from Sydney to St. John's, or if I just do a St. John's, do the refueling, and then go further. This is yet to be determined, but I will do my research, and next time we will know. So thanks everybody for watching. I know this was a long one, and I am off. See you guys later.